What's up, you guys? It's me here. So I had to make this video. A lot of you guys have been asking what to do with your money in 2025. So I wanted to go through the 5 best ways to invest $100,000. Because if you follow my advice, you can turn that into $1 million. Not financial advice, but just for fun. Let's pretend like it is. Here are the 5 best ways to invest $100,000. First and foremost, before we get started, as usual, if you appreciate videos like this, all I ask for in return is that you hit the like button or subscribe. Doing that helps me out tremendously. And as a thank you for doing that, here's a picture of an iguana. Enjoy. Alright, so first things first. The 5 best ways to invest $100,000. Number 1. Cash. Yes, I said it. Cash is actually one of the best options for most people. If you haven't done this already, I highly recommend setting aside 6 to 9 months worth of living expenses in the event anything were to happen. You lose your job, you need to pay off debt, car accident, whatever it may be. Having the peace of mind knowing that you have money available for emergencies is probably one of the best investments you could ever make. On top of that, consider what your goal is when it comes to investing. For example, let's say you bought a home. Congratulations, that's awesome. Well, now that you have a mortgage, you might want to hold off on investing because you don't want to jeopardize your ability to buy a home later on. Or let's say you're young and you haven't built up your career quite yet. In that case, it might make sense to invest in yourself by continuing your education or starting a side hustle instead. Cash gives you the flexibility to take advantage of opportunities that come your way. No. 2. Long-term individual stocks. This is the option that I've chosen personally, and this is where you'd basically be buying shares of a company and holding on to them for a minimum of 7 to 10 years. The idea here is that you're going to be a long-term investor who isn't fazed by two-day fluctuations in price because you're buying and holding for the long run. However, it's also important to keep in mind that there are fees associated with buying and selling stocks, so you want to make sure that the potential returns outweigh those costs. Personally, I've held a lot of these companies for many years, and some of them have gone up in value while others have stayed the same or even gone down. But overall, they've performed pretty well over the long term. Plus, if you want to see how I pick my stocks, I'll leave a video up right here. Number 3. High-yield savings accounts, CDs, T-bills. These are some of the best options if you're looking for a safe place to invest your money. Now, a high-yield savings account offers a higher interest rate than a traditional savings account and allows you to earn a little bit of money on your deposit. Although rates have increased recently, they're still lower compared to the average inflation rate, meaning your money is still losing value over time. A certificate of deposit or CD, on the other hand, offers a fixed interest rate for a set period of time, which means you won't have to worry about any fluctuations in the market. Just lock it in, forget it, and then at the end of the term, you'll get your money back plus a little bit of extra cash. Now, the only downside is that you usually have to keep your money in the bank for a certain amount of time, otherwise you'll have to pay a penalty. Then there's also treasury bills or T-bills, which are basically loans that you make to the government and they pay you back with interest. They're considered to be one of the safest investments out there since they're backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Plus, they come in various lengths from a few weeks all the way up to 52 weeks. All right, no. 4. Speculative investments. Look, I had to throw this one on the list for the fun of it. And this includes anything that's not guaranteed to make you money. Okay? I'm sorry. I know I just said that I'm going to show you how to turn 100 grand into $1 million, but let's be real here. Anyone who's promising you that much return is probably trying to sell you something. Now, speculative investments can include anything from penny stocks, options, futures, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, you name it. The reason why they're considered speculative is because their prices are driven by speculation and hype rather than actual facts or figures, and that makes them extremely risky. Look at this chart. Do you see anything similar to a roller coaster? Well, if you said yes, then you'd be correct. The truth is that speculative investments can sometimes offer huge potential returns. So if you're willing to take the risk, hey, maybe it's worth it for you. Personally, I don't invest in speculative investments. I like to stick to what I know and what I understand. For me, that includes buying shares of companies that I use on a daily basis and that I believe in for the long term. No. 5. How to make money in 2025. Yeah, this is another one that I had to throw on the list just for fun. And the truth is that the answer is different for everyone depending on their unique circumstances and goals. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. It's important to take the time to evaluate your own situation and develop a plan that works for you. Consider factors such as your age, income, expenses, financial obligations, and then, of course, your risk tolerance. Once you have a good understanding of your unique situation, you can start to explore different investment options and develop a diversified portfolio that meets your needs. It's also important to remember that making money takes time and effort. There are no shortcuts to success. Be prepared to put in the work and be patient with your results. With careful planning and execution, you can set yourself up for financial success in 2025 and beyond. Okay, so now that we've talked about the 5 best ways to invest $100,000, let's talk about how much you should be investing. Generally speaking, it's recommended that you save and invest at least 15 to 20% of your income. That means that if you make $1,000 a month, you should be aiming to save and invest $150 to $200 of that. Of course, the amount that you need to invest will depend on your individual circumstances, such as your age, income, expenses, and financial goals. But generally speaking, the more money you can invest, the better. Investing early and consistently is key to building wealth over time. Even if you can only afford to invest a small amount each month, it's still better than nothing. So start with whatever you can and gradually increase your contributions over time. It's also important to diversify your investments to spread out your risk and maximize your returns. This means that you shouldn't put all of your money in one investment. Instead, you should spread it out across different asset classes, industries, and geographic regions. By diversifying your portfolio, you can reduce the impact of any single investment performing poorly and increase your chances of making money. Look, investing can be intimidating at first, but it doesn't have to be. With a little knowledge and preparation, you can make smart investment decisions and set yourself up for financial success. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to add me on social media. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.